everybody, Karate Kid Fanatics back here again. We got our special guest today, Israel Juarbe, who played Freddy Fernandez in the Karate Kid original movie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Levi. I'm excited to be on your show.
Hey, Freddy Fernandez, apartment 17.
I can see you're a Karate Kid fanatic. I see
Oh yeah,
the picture frames in the back, the Cobra Kai. But where are the Freddys, man? You got to put Freddy up there somewhere.
yeah, we gotta get Freddy up here on the wall.
Well, you know what? If I get on the show, I'm trying to get on the show, then you can put me up on the wall officially.
Yeah, we got the flashback a little bit scene.
It's actually water in the pool. Never got a chance.
You know, I really think we're going to do good here.
Yeah. Thank God I got a little money for that, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Every time they use an image for an actor in any other production, even if it's a clip, we get paid.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. So speaking of acting, yeah, what made you want to get into the acting industry?
Well, I'm here now in New York City, and that's where I started my career. I was always interested in the arts. As a boy, watching all my favorite shows, which are way before your time.
Yeah.
Like Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie, all the old 70s shows.
Yeah.
And I used to watch them, and I said, I could do that. I mean, I just had like this natural passion for wanting to be on stage.
Yeah.
And I did in school. I performed in elementary school. I was always the first one to raise my hand because I wasn't scared. I thought this was something that came naturally.
Yeah.
So it was a natural progression into it. As I got older and I was in middle school, I got involved in my English class, and my teacher, Mr. Rohan, who's my friend on Facebook, he's still around.
Yeah.
He wrote a play, and this was his way of teaching English. He wrote a play about kids in school, and so we did it for like our theater program.
Yeah.
And I got the lead role, and I got the lead role because there was a girl, Elizabeth, who was beautiful, and she was the main part. She had the main part.
Yeah.
And there was a little kissing scene, so I had to like get the part.
Yeah.
And I had to beat out Jose Perez, who was like the good-looking kid with the green eyes, the Spanish Don Juan. And I was like, man, I'm not going to get this part. But as fate has it, I killed it in the audition with Mr. Rohan. He says, you're getting this part because you're better than Jose Perez.
Yeah.
And I did the play, and I got started, and I went to the theater programs that were in my neighborhood on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I got involved with this theater company that Miguel Piñero, a great Puerto Rican writer, poet, he was in charge of this at the New Yorican Poets Cafe, which is a famous poetry cafe, and it still exists here on the Lower East Side. A lot of famous poets and writers and musicians like Miles Davis and all these famous people have always gone to the Lower East Side. And then there I met him, and I did my first play with him. And then I did 4 more original characters in his plays. And I got my first movie when I was 18 years old, my first audition for a movie. And it's actually, let me do a shout out, it's on Prime Video.
Yeah.
It's called Dreams Don't Die.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have the lead role with 2 other kids.
Yeah. So speaking of some of your first roles, what was your audition process like for the Karate Kid?
Oh, that was a very cool audition. And I still remember it like it was yesterday, because the man who I auditioned for, first, back in the day, it wasn't like now. Now you audition, you send off a video.
Yeah.
It's not as intimate as it was back then. because you would actually go to the production house, meet the casting director, and audition for them. And then you go and there's a step process. And it's not always like this, but generally you would audition for your casting director. You would read with the assistant. And then if they like you, they call you back. And then you meet the director and producers. And, you can go as much as 5 times to get a really good role.
Yeah.
There's a process. And then actually that director usually has the last word.
Yeah.
But for me, for the Karate Kid, I met the casting director, and God, it was 36 years ago, 37 years. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
He was popular. I forgot the casting director's name, but
Cairo Jones, I think.
Huh?
Cairo Jones, I think. Something like that.
Good job, Levi.
Yeah.
We're talking 1983.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure she did the three original movies. Yeah.
Okay, so I met her, and then I went directly to John Avildsen.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about John, excuse me, the whole thing about John was that I was already ecstatic going in to see him because my favorite movie at the time was Rocky.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and they won an Oscar, right? It was a John Avildsen film. So when I was 16, I saw that movie in 1976. Me and my friend Jason, never forget this. We saw that movie, and when we ran out the theater, we were running and we were humming the tune.
Yeah.
And we got home so fast. We were like, "This movie is amazing."
Yeah.
And so I had that in mind going in to meet John, and I was a little nervous, obviously, because I'm meeting a great Oscar director. And I went in there, man, and he was so cool and so mellow, and it was like butter, man.
Yeah.
I was just sitting and hanging out with him. We were just talking.
Yeah.
And I think as much as I can remember, I did the reading, and the character was Johnny. The character's name was Johnny, his next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And that's out there now. That's a big thing because it's out there, right? Like, the Karate Kid websites. The name was Johnny, and it was funny because I was saying, let me tell him that I think an appropriate name would be at the time was Freddy.
Yeah.
That's why I came up with Freddy. I just thought Freddy was kind of a little nerdy but cool name.
Yeah.
And I said Freddy Fernandez. He says, "Yeah, we'll name him Freddy Fernandez," just like that.
Yeah.
The same. And when I read with him, I just read a little bit.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's great, Israel. And I look forward to seeing you again." And usually they don't say anything, right? Because you got a bunch of people auditioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the great thing about it, at that time in the 80s, it was hard for Latinos to get roles because I played a gangbanger like 30 times on television, right? I was always on the TV show, and I had the bandana, and I was a criminal, and I was like, that's not me, But at the time, it was hard to get really regular kid roles.
Yeah.
So I was really honored when my agent called me and says, "Hey, John likes you. He wants you in the film." And I was like blown away. And I was like, wow. And it was funny because, and later me and my friend Frankie, who played my friend, one of my friends, he's actually my business partner now. Frankie Avalon Jr. He's my business partner. Now we're friends all these years, like best friends. He's like my brother. And we talked about, like, when we first got the script, The Karate Kid, it was like kind of, is this going to be corny?
Yeah. But everybody's
like one of these bad 80s movies,
Yeah.
But when I met John and I read the script all over again, I was like, wow, this could be good. And when we went to the screening of it, the first time we saw it, we were blown away. We said, this is a classic. This is like, and I mean, look, the proof is in the pudding, right? All these years, they're going to do a Broadway play about it. They got the series that's a hit show. it's just been an amazing ride, man. I'm like so honored to be a part of like the whole thing.
Yeah. Speaking of the Broadway play, I think it's pretty cool that Freddy's going to have even bigger part in that than he did in the actual movie.
You know this?
Well,
What are you talking about? Tell me.
that's what they've. That's what I've heard like multiple times.
Wow. And you know who wrote it is Robert. Robert.
Yeah, that's what I heard him say that in an interview. Yeah.
Wow, man. Maybe I could play his grandfather. Who knows?
Yeah, something. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be in New York. So.
Yeah. I mean, Broadway's here, and they just opened up Broadway, and I think they had to push things back because of the COVID.
Yeah.
And they just opened up Broadway this week, so I mean, I had to mention that because I'm just blown away about how this franchise has been the biggest thing I've ever been a part of. I mean, it just doesn't quit. I mean, I'm 58 years old, and it keeps progressing.
Yeah.
You know. People are still watching it. It's on TV all the time. I have a 14-year-old daughter who's like, okay, Dad, you were in the Karate Kid. It's an old movie. I didn't see it yet. And when I went to see her last month, she lives in Los Angeles. I went to visit her after the COVID thing. I got my shots. I got on a plane. I hung out there for 2 weeks with her. And she was bragging to her friends that her dad was in the Karate Kid. She loves the movie. So it's like, we got another fan, you know?
Yeah. Like, for me personally, like, I grew up on the original movies from when I was little, but a lot of these people are just now seeing it. You know, they've never seen it before.
Exactly. Like my daughter, when she was 5 years old, she came to visit me when I was telling you I was living in Georgia.
Yeah.
I got her and I took her because I lived near a lake and it was beautiful. We had boats and we always and I wanted my daughter to experience something somewhere else. And I tell her, I said, let's watch a movie, you know, after we went boating one. And she's only 5 years old. And I go, did you ever see E.T.? And she goes, no. And I'm like, you got to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's an old movie Daddy used to watch. And she's like, oh, whatever. You know, she wanted to see her SpongeBob or whatever.
Yeah.
And I sat her down. And to this day, my daughter says, wow, one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So old classics, man. I mean, I grew up with It's a Wonderful Life, which is in the 1940s, a great movie. It's a beautiful story. I mean, how could you not like classics, right? It doesn't matter what age. They transcend age. And
for sure.
It's all about the story.
Yeah, so what was it like getting to do all that rehearsal? Because y'all like rehearsed, you know, for quite a while before y'all ever even started shooting the actual movie.
That's a good question, Levi. John was very meticulous. Like he knew how to put a story together. And the rehearsals prepared him to shoot the movie, because if you watch the rehearsal videos on YouTube, the whole put the whole thing together, and he shot the rehearsals. And I wasn't there for the first rehearsal.
Yeah,
I don't think I was casting. I'm not sure about the timing, but my friend Randy Sabasawa, who I'm going to hook you up with. I'm going to give you his phone number so you can.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Sabasawa was John Avildsen's right-hand man. And he shot all the rehearsals. And we're still friends to this day. He's a producer. He's done a lot of stuff. But John shot the angles exactly the way he shot it in the future. So when they went to shooting with the big crew and everything, it was just like he laid it out in a draft. He laid it out. He already had laid it out, the shots, the angles. He was so prepared. So it was interesting that he took his time to do rehearsals.
Yeah.
And we all took it serious. I mean, we were shooting a movie, only it was just like a small crew. And the lighting people were there to like kind of take notes. Yeah. The cinematographer was there to, you know, but Randy shot it, on this big ass
Yeah.
VHS, you know.
Yeah.
And I had seen those tapes. Actually, I was gonna help Randy put it together, but then John got it before he passed on, and he put it together, and that was cool.
Yeah.
He used me as a thumbnail with Ralph, and that was kind of
Yeah.
really cool. But the rehearsals were great, man, and we shot it just like the movie, man, only in different clothes.
Oh, yeah, let's see some.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So what was it like filming the scene where, you know, Ralph comes in and kicks you in the face with a door?
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, don't worry.
I've spoke about this many times, and every time I try to get a different angle on it, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on the day we shot this, it was interesting as an actor because you're not, you know, you hear the guys on the side, okay, we're rolling now, and
Yeah.
he said action, and I'm walking, you know, by the pool, and I'm kind of doing my whole thing, walking towards the door, and
Yeah.
I can't see where Ralph is.
Yeah.
But they gave me a mark not to pass it, because actually, if I would have passed that mark, I would have been hit with the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all an illusion. So, you know, it kind of just worked out perfect. You know, they said action. By the time I got there, he kicked the door. I
Yeah.
did a weak ass fall.
Yeah.
With my stuff. I think it was kind of weak, but it's memorable, man. I've been fortunate to have like these smaller roles in movies, major movies,
Yeah.
and have a huge impact because they were so good. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I had a small role in Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. I was looking to IMDb. Yeah.
And I played this small role, but it's like one of the most famous scenes in movie history.
Yeah.
And the tailpipe. It's like such a huge scene that I was getting roles in movies after that because I did that small role,
Yeah.
and it was the same year.
Yeah.
Both of those movies came out the same. 1984 was like a really good year for me as far as, you know, acting and doing memorable parts that just don't die. I've been kind of fortunate.
Yeah. So speaking of the final tournament scene, what was it like being in the atmosphere of that?
Oh wow. I've said this in other podcasts. I have a really bad experience on that whole thing because
Yeah.
we were off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So when you get put on hold, you're getting paid. When you're an actor and you're shooting a movie and you shoot like the first 2 weeks of the movie, you're on the schedule. And then you're not shooting for like 2 weeks. They put you on hold. That means they're paying you on contract.
Yeah.
Like you were shooting so that you don't go ahead and do anything else.
Yeah.
Kind of a union rule. Like you got to pay the guy because if he gets work, he can turn it down because you're paying him. So I was off for 2 weeks. And I got, and back then we didn't have cell phones, man. We didn't have one of these, right? We didn't even have beepers.
Yeah.
So you had an answering machine at home, and actors would always go home, and your first thing you do is, before you go to the bathroom, you put on your answering machine.
Yeah.
You hear if you got any roles or, you know, friends calling you, family calling you. That was your lifeline, right? Because you're not always home to answer the landline. So when I got home, it was like 2 weeks, and then I didn't know my schedule, but I think I was away at the time with my girlfriend at the time. We were like just chilling.
Yeah.
Get home, and I put on the answer machine. Israel, blah blah blah. You're supposed to be on set. Why are you not on set? And this was the tournament stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first day of shooting in the tournament, all the way in Northridge, and I had lived in Pasadena, so we're talking an hour and a half. And at that time, I had a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it was traffic, so I was like, "Whoa!" I was supposed to be on set 8:30. I got the message. It was like 3 in the afternoon, man.
Yeah.
They're shooting and I'm late.
Yeah.
So I get ready, I hop on my bike and and it was raining, it was pouring, and I'm on this motorcycle. And back then we didn't have helmets, it was crazy. And I just got there as fast as I could, all the way in Northridge. From Pasadena is a long haul, man. And I get there and they're shooting.
Yeah.
And I sat down with Frankie and go, oh shit, you're late, bro. You know, all my Freddy Fernandez friends were there shooting.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be in the stands watching them fight.
Yeah.
You see me in like 1 or 2 shots, like later when he's advancing in the tournament.
Yeah.
If you look at the movie, you don't see me. They show like people in the audience, they show my gang, but you don't see Freddy. Right?
Yeah.
The producer, RJ Lewis, goes like this.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh,
Yeah.
shit, man. I'm in trouble. He goes, Israel, man, we like you, man. We like the job you're doing, but if you ever want to work for me again, you better never be late.
Yeah.
And my heart sunk, man. I was like, I didn't even say anything because there's no excuses. You gotta make sure that you're on call.
Yeah.
And that was a bummer. So if you ask me, the first thing that comes to my mind was that first day. So I got cut out of that whole beginning because I was actually there and they were going to give me some stuff to say. Just like they gave me stuff to say in the script when he comes out after he gets hurt and Miyagi does this whole thing and fixes him up.
Yeah.
He comes out from the tunnel and he comes up to me and we do this scene. We do this really cool scene like, hey, man, I'm sorry about, I'm sorry about like what I did leaving you on the beach, but I know you're going to win, man. You're going to win. You're going to win.
Yeah.
They cut that whole thing out, man. I don't know if it was because I was late or the movie was long. We shot a whole bunch of scenes they cut out in the movie.
Yeah.
And they have to. Because the movie's like 4 hours long. They got to trim it down too. But that's what I remember, man. It was really cool. It was a lot of waiting because, so many people. They had a lot of different camera angles. They had like a 9-camera setup to capture different angles throughout the whole thing. So that was pretty. For the first time, I had done a lot of TV movies at the time, but it was nothing like this because the setup was pretty amazing. Everybody had to be organized. The extras had to work with us.
Yeah.
And then you had to get it, but it was just a great experience. And then running up on there, I remember doing that like several times. And I think they only did it twice because they captured everything. They got everything in all those angles. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I remember hanging out a lot because we had a lot of time and it was a big space and we were meeting all these people and it was just a great experience.
Yeah.
And I remember John Avildsen's kids being around there. They were little kids at the time.
Yeah.
And just getting the camaraderie together,
Yeah. So, did you get to meet Pat Morita very much, or separated?
Wow, no, man, Pat. We hung out with Pat so much because he was so funny, and I was a big fan of his from like Happy Days.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we had a lot to talk about because I was in this group because of one of my really close friends who I worked with, and he's like my mentor, Hector Elizondo.
Yeah.
You've seen him in so many things. I don't know, but recently he just finished Last Man Standing, that TV show with Allen.
Yeah.
He's the old guy in it.
Yeah.
He's, and he's like my dad. We're close. And I did a TV show with him.
Yeah.
And through him, I met Gary Marshall, who created Happy Days and all that, right?
Yeah.
So in my career, I have a picture of Henry Winkler, the Fonz, there because he directed me in a movie that I did with Danny DeVito, Scott Baio. It was a small movie. It was an after-school special, ABC after-school special.
Yeah.
And I shot that. Henry Winkler hired me. He directed it. So in my career, I've worked with about 6 people from Happy Days.
Yeah.
I worked with Gary Marshall, Henry Winkler, Scott Baio, who was Chachi,
Yeah.
Pat Morita, Kathy Silvers, who I did my TV show with. I did a series for CBS, 1985, called Foley Square. We did 16 episodes of that, but Kathy Silvers was Jenny Piccolo on Happy Days.
Yeah.
So when I talked to him, I said, "Hey, I met Gary Marshall," and he was not like the Japanese guy, you know.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" He was totally American, man.
Yeah.
And he pulled it off. He pulled it off, but he's as American as apple pie. And he was very hip. And I met his daughter too.
Yeah.
I met his daughter. We were talking. I met her in like a club or something. We were talking, and then she goes, "Do you know Pat Morita?" And I go, "Yeah, I worked in the Karate." Goes, "That's where I know you from," because it was years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I ran into his daughter, man, and we hung out. She was very cool, and it was Pat Morita's daughter.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pat was a good man. He was so cool. He was close to my friend Randy Sabasawa, who I want you to interview because he's the inside outside guy. He was the crew member. He helped John Avison put this together.
Yeah.
You should interview him because he knows all the stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I saw where you appeared on an episode of Cagney and Lacey. Did you work with Martin Cove when you did that?
Yeah, man. I'm like the Puerto Rican Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Yeah, I did 2 episodes of Cagney and Lacey.
Yeah.
Before the Karate Kid. So me and Marty, we had done a scene. I don't know. Did you see the scene?
I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere or something.
Yeah, it is. I found it and I saw it. I mean, I did the whole episodes. I did like 2 of those episodes, but yeah, Marty was one of the detectives on the show. So I worked with him. And I knew Marty from that. He didn't remember me that much when I say I did that episode, blah, blah, blah. I was a gang member with my friend Rafael Ferrer.
Yeah.
My friend Rafael, who played my gang buddy in the TV show Cagney and Lacey.
Yeah.
His father was Jose Ferrer, a famous Puerto Rican actor. And his mom was Rosemary Clooney. Okay?
Yeah.
Rosemary Clooney is the aunt of George Clooney.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So I know George for years because me and George did a TV show together. Me and Raphael.
Yeah.
He had another brother, Mel Ferrer, who passed away recently, and he was a great actor. He did he did a lot of movies. Raphael, we did that scene together. And I did another scene that another guy that played my brother in a gang thing was Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
And my friend Dean Devlin, who produced and wrote Independence Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look up Dean Devlin. He's a big time producer. We just talked recently. But, you know, I did a lot of those roles, man, but I did them with good people, and Marty was one of them, man. So, yeah, we had a reunion. I mean, we didn't work that much together.
Yeah.
We were in some scenes where we were around and we talked. And then actually, I did a signing with Marty and Ron and Rob.
Yeah.
Before he passed on.
That's all over. People post that picture all the time.
Yeah, we did the finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we hung out, and then I took Marty out with Billy, and we went with my girlfriend and Marty. I took him to this really hip bar. We partied all night. We had a good time.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I keep in touch with them.
Yeah. Speaking of the Making Bacon T-shirt, how did that get into the wardrobe?
I'm glad you asked me that, man. We should have said this earlier so that people get bored of my interview. They would have got this.
Yeah.
But you could edit it, put it in the beginning. Nah, just kidding. You know, I'm an editor. That's what I did for 25 years. I used to work at A&E Networks. I was an editor. I was doing those shows, Pawn Stars, Ancient Aliens, all that stuff. I no longer do it, but I did it for 25 years. Yeah. That's why I'm into computers. I build my own PCs, you know, build up I'm a computer guy, graphics, animation guy, you know. Yeah. I mean, other than acting, that's what I did. But the Making Bacon T-shirt, this logo here was a classic in my day.
Yeah.
People used to put patches on their jackets, the Levi jackets. Oh, no pun intended.
Yeah.
The Levi jackets and pants, the dungarees and quarter, what we wore in the 70s. They had all these patches in the 60s.
Yeah.
The love patch, Black Power patches, making bacon patches. All these sayings were on little patches that people used to sew on their jackets. They were our thing. They were our memes.
Yeah.
Those were our memes.
Oh yeah.
But they were physical, tangible, not on digital. So this shirt, I had the Making Bacon t-shirt. And when we were in wardrobe, and this is funny.
Yeah.
This was me that did this. Okay. I was talking to we were ready to, we did our I think it was during the rehearsal or during a rehearsal, constant people say, okay, what are you going to wear? They have like 5 people looking at you. Okay, what do the kids wear?
Yeah.
They try to do the times and get it right,
Yeah.
Sometimes too right? So I said, no, man, this is what the kids wear.
Yeah.
I said, can I wear this? And she goes, well, we'll get you a brand new one. I said, yeah, get me she goes, I don't know. I mean, look, it's 2 pigs doing it, right?
Yeah.
And this is like a teenage movie, so like people are real skeptical of kind of doing this thing. But I said, try it, and this is what I would wear. This is what Freddie would wear.
Yeah.
So she goes, all right, well, we'll ask him during one of the rehearsals. We'll get you a side t-shirt just in case and see if he'll go for it.
Yeah.
Well, that day when we shot it, I wore it. Rehearsing before we shoot it, you always do like 4 or 5 takes for cameras, for angles, and getting it right, the door. And John was so busy. Is it okay for Israel to wear this? Yeah, look, John, hey, is it cool? I mean, this is like what kids wear. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
He didn't really look
Yeah.
at the whole thing because it was just like in passing, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just blew it off. Yeah, man, go ahead, don't wear it.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah.
And it turned out to be like the coolest thing because this t-shirt, it sells all over the world. I sell them now on Etsy.
Yeah.
If you could post the thing, it's
link will be in the
you do a
description.
search and you put Strawgy, STRAW, like straw, JI, Strawgy. And my link is there with the Karate Kid Freddy's Making Bacon t-shirt.
Yeah.
And you can buy it signed or unsigned.
Yeah.
And I have my other products on there, which is a Strawgy clip. This is my invention. And because of the COVID, I had to not advertise right now. I'm going to start right now because COVID is kind of disappearing. So hopefully everybody will start wanting to party again and go, restaurants and be comfortable and throw birthday parties. But there's a Strawgy clip. Okay, Levi?
Yeah.
And it clips onto any size straw. It doesn't matter what size straw. It could be a little thin straw. It could clip on any size pen. Okay, it's just a clip. And then I put any image you want on it.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah.
So and this right here, these stickers that I have, it can rain, it can pour, the ink won't go. This is the same as the label.
Yeah.
So I have my little studio here, and I could, print them out as many as you want. But I've sold them to a guy from the Jets in Unwa. He's a tight end for his wedding. I sold them for people's birthday parties, and not only that, you clip it onto here, and then you clip it onto your glass, right? And it fits any size.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Glass, and it won't fall off.
Yeah.
There's my little commercial.
Yeah. Everybody check it out. Link will be in the description. Yeah.
And you sip it and you take them home as a little souvenir.
Yeah. That'll. That's
Huh?
that's a great invention, especially for people having parties and stuff, weddings. Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, and they're cheap. These are about retail, like about $1 each, you know, and you can put your face on there, and I could put like happy birthday. You could design them, and I'm
Yeah.
getting the website all set up. I had the website, I took it down, so I'm selling on Astrology. But on my new website, you're gonna be able to customize it yourself,
Oh wow, yeah, that's awesome.
and it's like $5 for a 5 pack, $10 for a 10 pack, and it's polypropylene number 5. That plastic, that means it's recyclable. You can
Yeah,
recycle the clip and this. It's the best plastic out there for the planet conscious people, you know, and you can keep
yeah,
it forever. This will last forever.
yeah. So for you personally, what was your favorite project that you got to work on throughout your acting career?
I mean, I gotta say Karate Kid.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, what is the one that has been, I mean, I tell people about the shows, guys your age, you know, I would say, oh, I did a show, Foley Square on CBS. It was a television series, like, so, you know,
yeah,
and nobody talks about it, right? I mean,
yeah,
you could say, I could tell you, hey, the A Team, and you probably say, oh, I know about the A Team. You know, it had Mr. T in it, and
yeah,
like it was a big TV show. But even the great shows in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, nothing compares to the Karate Kid, man.
yeah,
I mean, the Karate Kid has to be one of the most famous movies ever done. Up there with the big ones, up there with the Miracle on 34th Street, the Ten Commandments, Rocky, the Karate Kid, because the kids are the ones that carry it
yeah,
decade after decade. And it's not even anybody promoting it. It's like a
yeah,
parent will say, hey, I saw it, and say, I got to get you to see this movie. And then you share it with your parents. And then when they become parents, they share with their kids. And that's,
Now they watch Cobra Kai too. Yeah,
and Cobra Kai. Listen, I don't talk about Cobra Kai that much because I'm not really involved in it. I get questions a lot about it. They have
yeah,
something that they refer to as Freddy's freezer. You know,
yeah. That was awesome. Yeah,
and I'm hoping Jay Horrocks and the other guys say, hey, let's. And Will Smith produced it. I guess starting on the Fresh Prince. I know Will.
yeah,
Alfonso Ribeiro since he was a little kid. I did 3 jobs with Alfonso. You know, Kongs. Like I know Will because I guest starred on his show.
yeah,
And he loves it. And he knew I was on the Karate Kid when I did the Fresh Prince. So it's like, come on, guys, call me, man. People
yeah.
want to see Freddie.
Yeah, so for you personally, like, what is a way you could possibly see yourself returning?
Well, they already set it up in the freezer scene, right? So I own some sort of pork company selling frozen pork. I don't know what kind of pork.
Yeah,
He's pretty successful himself.
yeah,
I had an idea. First, I was talking to Ralph about my idea. I said, hey, man, have Freddie as a down and out guy, maybe homeless. He needs a job, and you give him a job selling cars, and he can't sell.
yeah, yeah,
You feel pity for him, and then that would have been cool. But
yeah,
they already established this thing as me being a businessman, and maybe I help him out or a loan or
catering into the dealership. Yeah,
maybe I don't know, man. I don't know, but it would be cool because we have like this thing, right? Like I left them on the beach, and I was
yeah,
there at the tournament, but we never had like this heart to heart. Like, hey, man, I'm sorry, I was under peer pressure.
yeah,
Like leave you out there. I should have like stuck out for you or something, you know.
yeah. I mean, you were somewhat mentioned in the third movie, but other than that, we never really know what happened.
So maybe they're, you know, hey, listen, I had like a small role, I would say, not kind of a medium role. I shot a lot of it. They cut out a lot of stuff, but
Yeah,
Freddie's memorable. I invite him to the beach. I'm the only guy that says the Karate Kid in the movie.
yeah,
I'm the only one.
yeah,
And so, you know, they should have me on there, man.
yeah,
You know what? Levi, I'm doing a lot of things, man. I wrote the screenplay, a 6-part screenplay. My friend, Luis Guzman, is my business partner. Also my investor to my clip. But Luis Guzman, do you know who he is?
I've heard that name, but no, I don't know who that is.
You see his face, you've seen him in everything.
Yeah.
He is. I wrote a screenplay and we're trying to produce it right now, and it's really good. I can't mention it because it's in the hands of some studios right now.
Yeah.
But I write there. That's what I do. I write. I'm just showing you Louis.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody's gonna know who he is.
Oh yeah. I know that guy. Yeah, I've seen him quite a few times. Yeah.
Louis and I grew up together in the same building since I was 4 years old. So we're like brothers, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a movie on that he produced that he stars in on Netflix called Two Puerto Ricans in Paris. He just shot. He's in everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now. I'm writing, right? And if I get a shot at acting again, I'll do it. You know, I just haven't pushed it because I was editing for 25 years.
Yeah.
I had my own post house, and, you know.
Yeah. So for you, what was your favorite scene or favorite part of filming the Karate Kid?
You know, even though it was, it would have to be the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, my scene with him in the house, it's just me and him, and that's cool with the old lady, you know.
Yeah.
It's real simple, you know. It wasn't like a major scene. It was just like, hey man, let me help you and come to a party with us. But at the beach, man, we all hung out. We shot at Leo Carrillo Beach near Zuma Beach in LA, and it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And we were there, and when you shoot a movie, man, you're getting pampered. You're getting the best food from the catering trucks, and you're hanging out with all these guys.
Oh yeah.
You're at the beach, and there's beautiful women there. I mean, how could you beat?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and we look. I threw like this big Halloween party with my roommates in a house I lived in Pasadena, and it was like a haunted house. So it was a perfect place to throw a party, and everybody came except Ralph, because you know Ralph's from LA. He was in his hotel. He's a star, but Billy came. It was like the best.
Yeah.
Party. We had people standing, and remember, we were 21, 22 years old at the time. We had people standing in the stairs like with a knife.
Yeah.
And we had this attic that was huge.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody was dancing. The house was rocking. So, I mean, that's how we got to know everybody on the beach, you know. We all got to me and Rob hung out years after.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I guess the beach was fun, man.
Yeah. So, last question. That was you in the chicken costume, right?
No.
That was not you. Okay, I'd heard rumors of that. I wasn't sure if that was true.
No, you know what? I'm not even seen.
Yeah.
I'm not even seen, and I don't even remember the costume I had.
Yeah.
I don't remember that whole thing.
Yeah.
It was a big scene, but for some reason I'm not in there, and I don't know why. A couple of guys were in there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even tell you what suit I had on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because there's a lot of speculation because they're like, if we don't see Freddy, was he in the chicken costume? So yeah, it's kind of a little weird.
Well, let's keep it like that. Maybe I was. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know.
That was very, very. That whole scene, that party scene, was just a whole blur.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to thank you for coming on. It's great to be able to talk with you today.
Levi, thank you for having me, man. It's always good to be talking to the youth and getting to let them know my experiences.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having me on the show, and keep telling your listeners to, hey, let's plug Freddy Fernandez to get on tonight. He's like that. Huh?
Yeah. Bring back Freddy Fernandez.
Thank you so much, Levi. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.